Hey, TikTok. How are you? I hope you're good. I've had, there's a lot going on, and not even from like an astrological perspective, just life, energy. I think that some of the things that are coming to me are mere reflections of my experience and understanding of the lesson, right? You don't really understand. You may have an understanding of the fact that you're going through something or some awareness of things shifting, but I've had a lot of like completion energy. Like, oh, I went through all of that to learn this. Like an understanding that is very profound and deep. And so I feel like a lot of people are in that space right now where just these shifts continuously this year they're big, right? So you hear like, oh, there's this thing happening and this planet's moving, or we're about to go into eclipse season or whatever. And I'm not saying none of that. I'm just the energy and influence of the message can make you feel like your life is going to shatter. And it does. But it's not like immediately, right? It's all with a lot of grace and mercy. It's all in your own vibrational alignment and how those experiences show up. But there's this energy right now of like everybody is, well, the bigger energy is that we live in a different frequency. And I can sense that. I'm not like in small ways, it's like going outside and not being able to identify most of the bugs that are outside. I don't know when the fuck that happened. But there's like small reality checks where you're like, this is the same, but it's different. The ability and how frequency and energy is moving through like manifestations and even artificial intelligence and the ability for it to pick up, and there's just some things that are happening vibrationally, and you may not be aware, you may be hella aware, right? Because I think that once you realize that you're dealing with energy and frequency, then you stop trying to apply the same practices that worked in the 3D paradigm that don't work in the 5D paradigm. That's also been another message that has come through. Like, people are fighting and playing, participating incorrectly because you don't realize that we're not even playing by those rules no more. And in order for you to get the best out of the experience, you have to elevate and work on yourself, right? Everything in your reality right now is a mere reflection of you and your inner world. If you don't like something about your reality, then you work on you, which forces that outward expression to change. Period. Okay. Astrology. So Friday we have Venus at 29 degrees, I'm pretty sure, and we have Uranus at 29 degrees, and they're both leaving Taurus. That's going to be a little chaos. It is sometimes the way that some of these things kind of come is very interesting to the timeline, but Uranus, we have Mercury, which is opposing Pluto right now. I could feel that heavy today. Even in like channeling and talking to angels and all this stuff, there was like this energy of like, I don't even know. I don't even have the space right now to articulate it, but I can feel the Mercury opposition Pluto. The Venus in conjunction with Uranus at this 29 degree point leaving Taurus is interesting because it has to do with liberation and relationships. So low vibration, there could be breakups, there could be things that are revealed. The other piece of energy that is kind of very heavy or like coming up for me is the moon, because we're in this phase of where the moon is becoming full, which means that things are being exposed and released, and then it's going to come to this pivotal point where there's a highlight before things start to then clear themselves out as to what has come up. And when we had this new moon in Cancer, we have Jupiter in Cancer, and so there's some big things that could be hidden or that could be coming up in these moments. And so For me, when I think about, so low vibe, people could break up. You can find out secrets. You can find out aspects of yourself when it comes to love. That's the other thing. Like, there are many aspects to us, and there could be these epiphanies and these sudden realizations that you have with Venus conjunct Uranus. But the other important thing is that the next day, Venus goes into Gemini. And then on Monday, Uranus goes into Gemini to start a preview of a 7-year cycle. If you want to understand Uranus's energy, because it can be liberating and it can create upheaval because it's making you uncomfortable and it's breaking routine and it's taking you out of that consistency, and it's like, yeah, well, what about this? Let's try this. Let's try some innovation. Let's try some, like, fuck that. We're not doing that. Like, that's very much Uranus. But when that happens, for those that like comfort and don't understand that change is the only thing that you can count on, shout out to my Grams who told me that every day for 20 years, right? Change is the only thing you can count on, honey. So, like, get the fuck over it and keep it pushing. For those that don't like change, go back and look at Taurus, whatever part of your chart this is. And I was just talking to my best friend about Uranus moving into a house in her chart. And her reply was, I was like, if you don't understand the energy, go back 7 years and look at your 7th house in this area. And she replied, like, literally almost to the date, this event happened and caused this upheaval in this area of my life that has liberated me so much, right? But she wouldn't know that, right? So then I'm trying to get her to understand the energy that happened in that area so that she can have awareness of what energy may be coming into this new area of her life, and she can create allowance and fluidity instead of fear and stagnation, which is going to just pause you from participating in the inevitable anyway. So we're not going to go into the future with fear. We're going to know that we're all divinely guided and protected. I mean, one of the biggest, I keep getting all these downloads of stuff, so sorry. One of the biggest things that have come is that, like, regardless of how much we do or how hard we try or what the fuck ever, I seem to end up where I'm supposed to all the time. And I wish that I could learn to chill. And allow, and I'm learning, like I promise I'm learning, but the human in me is like, on to the next, did that, on to the next, what's next, what comes next. So yeah, I hope that you're well. Know that you're protected. Know that, look into your chart, find the area of Gemini, know that Uranus is moving there, see how that kind of corresponds with what's to come. It is an energy that can be abrupt and disruptive as much as it can be liberating. So that awareness helps you kind of, it gives you insight, right, on how to prepare, or at least have the mindset and kind of dig into that. Everything else, like, I find myself about to create new things in life and having this passion to create new things and to help with the collective and to not be so afraid of being seen